Oggi vi porto un video un po' diverso del solito, non una recensione, non un confronto, ma un incontro. Siamo al Live Groove Hub e ho avuto la possibilità di passare alcune ore con una delle chitarriste più particolari e innovative degli ultimi 20 anni, Kaki King. La sua carriera è fatta di ricerca, di esplorazioni sonore, un approccio molto personale alla chitarra. Ascolteremo alcuni suoi brani e parleremo del suo percorso e del suo rapporto con le chitarre, di come vede la musica oggi. Questo progetto è stato realizzato grazie al supporto di Gewa, Ovation e International Music Arts, che ringrazio per aver reso possibile questo incontro. Non vi anticipo altro, vi lascio con Kaki King. So to start, I leave the floor to you.
Okay.
I would like, how would you introduce yourself to someone who doesn't know you yet?
Sometimes people see me with a guitar case, like at the airport, and they say, "Oh, is that a cello?" And I say, "No, it's a guitar." And they say, "Oh, do you play guitar?" "Yes, I play guitar." And then it gets complicated because some people don't even understand the idea of an instrumental guitarist, like a person that plays and doesn't sing. So what I usually say is I play acoustic fingerstyle guitar, I write my own music, and after that, you just have to trust your own ears.
You played many different guitars throughout your career, and how all these guitars have shaped your sound and your style?
Tuning the guitar, the acoustic guitar very low introduced me to the baritone, electric baritone. So I started playing a lot of electric baritone. Going from, wanting to do more looping actually led me into more playing lap steel, because lap steel can have like a variety of different percussive sounds. I've had a lot of really well-made instruments, whether they be vintage, a luthier I've just worked with, something super creative and very innovative, or very traditional, but everything I've played has been very well made, and I think that's been the key. You know, you don't have to fight it, you don't have to struggle with it. It just is flawless. That's been, you know, key, because I'm never having to, you know, like struggle with the instrument itself. The instrument just lets out everything it has inside of it.
So that it's something that really inspires you when you're playing it.
Yeah.
So it goes with the instrument and then the music, and it flows all together.
Exactly.
Okay. And next, when you choose a guitar to bring on stage or in the studio, what do you look for in this particular instrument?
So anything that I play, anything that I choose to bring somewhere, I can't have a struggle. It has to lead me. It has to be like opening the door for me and inviting me in. So even if it's something like, oh, this guitar has been in a case for 6 months, it really needs a setup, I'm not going to bring that on stage. I'm not going to have something that isn't really, you know, set up for success, or, you know, is at its optimum capacity. Because I feel like if you were a luthier and you built a guitar and then someone left it in a corner for a year and then tried to play it, it wouldn't sound, that's not what the luthier intended. Yeah. You know, so I try to maintain the instruments really well, which is hard when you have a large collection. But yeah, specifically, you know, something that feels incredibly easy.
A lot of people that follows my channel are starting to play, and I would like to ask you if you have some suggestion, something that you would advise to people that are starting to play.
Check and make sure you're playing a guitar that is well set up. You know, learn about what the action is, learn about the distance between the strings and the fretboard. Do you need a fret setup? Do you need new strings? Are the strings that you're using the right gauge strings for the guitar? I mean, there's a lot of these details that, you know, people will struggle with for months before they realize, oh, I just needed a different set of strings, or, oh, I needed to take it somewhere and have the truss rod examined. So I think that getting regular setups, trying different types of strings, trying different types of things, is really, really going to help early on, I think. And I don't think it's taught. I think that people are like, here's a guitar and just, you know, go figure it out. Yeah. Where it's really like, this is an instrument that needs maintenance for me as a professional, every 3 months. For someone that's not playing, at least every 6 months. But, you know, you can't just walk in and pick up a guitar and think, okay, it's perfect. So I think that's really important and overlooked. And the other thing I would say is, once you do have a guitar that you know is playing well, you're happy with it, just stay for the struggle. It will be a struggle, you know? I have a pianist friend, and she said, Kaki, I just don't feel like an instrument should hurt me. I mean, it hurts playing guitar. It hurts squeezing a metal wire into your flesh. It hurts. But the payoff is worth it. And I think that very early hurdle is the hardest to get over. So yeah, like, I think sticking with it and understanding that it's hard, you suck, it doesn't sound good, but one day it will, and trusting that.
Were there artists, moments, or experience in music that really changed and shaped the way you play?
Too many to number.
Okay.
But talking about players, talking about learning, there were moments of things that I learned early on so I learned to play a power chord.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. So someone taught me a power chord. I've been playing guitar since I was very young, but I didn't really know you could just go jun, 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 jun. 3 years of my life, that's all I needed to do. So I think there's these kind of great leaps and bounds for me. I remember there's a guitarist named Martin Simpson, and he's English. He had a VHS instructional video, and I don't know how I got my hands on it. I was in my early teens, and he talked about, I go and get my, these fake fingernails. And I was like, what? What the hell? And I, at some point, decided to get fake nails. Completely changed everything for me. So a lot of the stuff that changed things for me were not iconic rock and roll moments. They were like pieces of information that like set me up to the next level.
Okay.
And it's that kind of thing that I think has shaped my career more than anything. And less about like, oh, I saw this and then I had to go do it. More of like, oh, it's like a back door, like a secret, like a little secret way of entry that now I can, practice that for years.
Looking back, is there a concert or a moment where Ovation played a special role, something that you still remember today?
So my father had an Ovation Adamas, and he wouldn't let me touch it.
Okay.
This is when I was much younger. I was, I had a guitar, and he was like, "Don't touch my nice guitar. You can have your crap guitar." And he ended up giving me his guitar when I went to college. And so that guitar that he had was the guitar I used to make my first album. And sadly, it got stolen. It got stolen out of, someone came into my apartment in Brooklyn. And this is way before I had a career. Like, this is before anything. I had made contact with some guitar player. It doesn't matter. But like, basically, I asked someone that knew someone at Ovation, and they sent me a guitar.
Nice.
Like, they didn't know anything about me. They didn't know anything about my playing. I was just a, teenage, maybe 20-year-old living in New York City. And they said, yeah, she got her guitar, so her Ovation was stolen. Sure, we'll give her a guitar. So Ovation was my first professional relationship. Before I had a record deal, before I started to tour, it was the kind of the first time. And I mean, I think I'd had some songs recorded, and I think it was the first time that my music was acknowledged. Okay. And rewarded in a way. Like it was an act of faith of them to say, yeah, we'll give you a guitar, and what else do you need? So for me, that was really meaningful. Like really, really, really meaningful that a company would do that to someone so young and totally unknown.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And over the years, what has Ovation represented in your music journey?
I think the carbon fiber top on the Adamas model with the deep bowl is the most distinct sounding guitar. One of the reasons is that it's so well balanced. And I really do think it's the top. When I say well balanced, what I mean is in volume. So every note is the same volume as every other note. So I'm not having to be my own mixing board, If I play hard, it will sound louder. If I play softly, but it's even. And it's even across the strings, even with the different gauges, even in different tunings. So that's a huge thing for me. I often pick up a different guitar and there'll be like a dead spot, or there'll be why is the G string so loud or so quiet? Like there's just these discrepancies. But with those guitars, it's just like absolute perfection. It's almost like, like I'm starting from empty, which is great because then I have, again, I'm not fighting it, I'm not adjusting, I'm just playing and it's fluid. The other thing specifically is my ear always was drawn to the low tunings, low.
Yeah.
And the darker, deeper tones. As a teenager, I was very kind of goth and sort of miserable, but like I wanted that sound. That sound spoke to me. And a lot of people were playing like beautiful California guitars with the, talking about the rain on the hills. And I was like, I wanted that darkness, and that carbon fiber top with the low tunings, that provided me with a huge palette of material to work with. Like, I could work with that. I knew how to shape that into songs and how to, push that into where I wanted it to go. And that was really important. So to this day, I've never played I don't think my guitar's ever tuned above D. Normally it's all usually like a B.
Nice. And let's talk about your tunings and stuff. You said that you like to tune down your guitar. I listen to your music and it's always like C, maybe B, like you said. And how do you choose your open tuning to compose a song?
It's sometimes just not complicated. Sometimes I'll be in a tuning that I know, and then I want something that I can't have, so then I have to adjust the tuning. Now I've adjusted the tuning, and it's opened up new things that I didn't know were there.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, oh, I thought I wanted this, but actually now I want this. Or I wanted this reach to be easier, but now I'm seeing that this could be a whole, it flows like that. Tunings are like, it's like you open up your paint closet, you just slap 6 paints, it's just a beginning.
Yeah.
And if you need to mix it up or go get something different, you just work from there. It's a improvisational process of figuring out what the tuning should be. So, but yeah, I do gravitate towards lower tunings, clustered fifths for sure, as many as I can get.
Right now, what musical projects or direction excites you the most?
I've done a lot of things.
Okay.
I've done a lot of cool things. I've done 18 guitars on stage. I've done projections on the guitar. I've done crazy different, albums with drums and electric and horn, whatever. I've played with orchestras. And right now, my newest project is for children. It's called Bugs. Now, I feel like if you stay in music long enough, you will either be in a cult or you'll get to children's entertainment. So I've now gone there, and I have young children. And as a parent, I noticed there's not a lot out there that the children will enjoy as well as the adults. So I created this crazy show that I have the projection mapped guitar. It's an Ovation. I have a ukulele that's shaped like a bug that lights up from the inside. I have a drum that talks to you and tells you its favorite colors and stuff. And then I have this caterpillar-shaped projection screen behind me. And the content is bugs and sugar and slime and melted, gooey, crazy-looking things. And it's all completely interactive. And if I play a note, the light comes up here and the ant does a dance. It's a lot of media. But I'm really excited. It's been, from thinking about it to creating it to touring it has really only been like 2 years. And that's very short. So yeah, that'll start touring in the States in October.
Okay.
And yeah, I have not been this excited in a long time because everyone else is so excited. So the one thing I did hopefully correctly was, even though the visuals are geared towards kids, they look very psychedelic and cool. I've kept the music at the level that any one of my songs would normally be.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you think I had 5 or 10 years, how do you imagine your artistic evolution?
I tend to think outwardly. I think at some point I realized that there's no ladder to climb. It was just creative things to discover. So that's how my mind thinks. Like what's lurking in these wings. I think now that my children are a little older, I have more time to just sit with the guitar and play for no reason. I'm not practicing. I'm not getting ready for a gig. I'm not writing. I'm not making music for a commercial or a movie or someone's thing. I'm just playing. And I did so much of that when I was young, and then it turned into a career, and the career allowed me to have children. And now I'm back to I would like to be just playing. So if I could be playing an hour or two every day for no reason in 5 years, that would be my dream. Because that's how it all started. That's where it all comes from. The writing, the understanding, the connection with the instrument, like just the feeling of this is so easy. It didn't come like, it came over years and years and years of doing that. And now I have very little personal time. So getting back my personal time and rediscovering guitar and rediscovering it over and over. That's what I look forward to.
Thank you very much for being here with us. I hope you enjoyed.
Absolutely.
I really enjoyed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ringrazio ancora Geva, Ovation, International Music and Arts e Live Groove Hub per aver reso possibile questo incontro, che spero ti sia piaciuto. Noi, come sempre, ci vediamo alla prossima.